Action. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Podcast. We are here to get fucked up. We are here to get wasted. We're at an interesting time, my friends and family. We are at the precipice of a new age, an era of knowledge, of wealth for all. We are nearing. We are in the age of Aquarius, and it's really nice. Good things are going to happen soon. Good things are happening as we speak and as you listen. So I guess let's do a little I'm around kids all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm basically like Barney when I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. But so when I get around my friends, it's like I just want to say the most extreme shit. And you know, they work at a place where it's just all grown-ups and shit, so they can talk shit when they're at work, you know? So that, they were like, okay, we get it. Two other members over there, they were like, well, okay, we get it, we understand. But I will try to talk less about that kind of shit because it makes them uncomfortable. And then, you know, porn, yes, is bad, but there's some positive aspects to it, you know. I'm not going to get into that now. I wrote down some topics. This one thing I wanted to say was about, I found it interesting because I was talking to my mom that, so 2020, 10 years have passed by since 2010, correct? I'm 31. In 2010, I was 21. And a lot of stuff happened to me from 21 to 31. That 10 years, when I think about the crazy shit I've done, the relationships I've been in, when I think about that, it seems like, whoa, that was a long decade. But when I think about my son, who in 2010 was 2 years old, and now in 2020 is 12, when I think about him, time flew by. So I was telling my mom, what if, like, cause when we get older, what if our time, like, we have a time bubble? Like, I was watching something where somebody said that there's like 6 feet around us, there's like an aura, right? And they were saying maybe that's why they want to keep us 6 feet apart so that we're not connecting with humans as much as we used to, because it kind of separates us and manipulates us, makes us more anxious, more angry, more sad, more easily manipulated. And so what if time moves differently depending on your age? What if time moves slower for people who, because I mean, we don't change, I mean, but so like for my son, like time went by fast, right? He grew up real quick in 10 years. I mean, he didn't grow up all the way, but you know, from 2 to 12, that's a lot, right? But from 21 to 31, yeah, my brain went through a lot. My belly might have got bigger, and you know, I go through phases where I lose weight and gain weight and shit like that. But I mean, there's not a lot of change. I mean, yeah, you change physically and shit, but you're at the same height that you're gonna be, you know, and you just 21 to 31 is detrimental. I guess you could say 2030, but for me, it was from 2010 to 2030. I mean, to 2020. Imagine in 2030, oh my goodness, in 10 years, I'll be 41. Maybe I'll be still doing the Friday podcast. Maybe I'll be famous. Maybe I'll be a teacher. Maybe I'll be homeless. Hopefully not. Shout out to Ninja Turtles, Mario Bros. So, I haven't read Last Ronin yet. But I kind of got upset because it got spoiled for me, you know. But in the current ongoing series that not a lot of people talk about, it wasn't spoiled for me. When did this come out? November. So spoiler alert, okay? If you haven't read this issue and you plan on reading it, look at this cute ass cover. That's not how the comic book is on the inside. You know, it's more like serious and shit. But the thing that excites me about this issue, so I fell behind, right? I had to read 110. 110 was cool. It was building up to 111. On 111, what was really dope were two characters have been introduced to the comic book series that haven't been introduced yet, that are from the movies. And particularly, Karai is trying to get some new foot members. The snapping turtle and the wolf. Who does that look like to y'all? Bro. Taka and Razar. Taka and Razar are coming to the new fucking story. And Mutanimals are getting attacked because old Hob is not really running the thing right. A lot of people are getting upset. So if you don't know, like, there's Mutant Town because Hob, old Hob, the cat with the one eye, who has on and off been a nemesis of the Turtles and a friend and an ally of the Turtles and Splinter and shit. He set off a mutagen bomb. So there's like Mutant Town, and he's running it, but he's like, it's kind of like, it's a lot harder than he thought it was going to be. He thought they were going to be united as mutants and all this shit, but it's been tough. And one of his deals with the Foot Clan went awry, so now Karai wants some new mutants, and but the mutants in Mutant Town are starting to retaliate. Now, Mona Lisa, if you remember Mona Lisa from the cartoon, she's also on here, but she was a human, and she was mutated, and now her parents are like, you know, they're so a lot of people get disconnected from their family in this situation. Old Hob is with the Mutanimals, and he has this, he's a good soldier. I forgot what his name is, Ray or something, right? Because he's a stingray. But they sent some people, some foot soldiers to spy on the Ninja Turtles, and the Ninja Turtles obviously caught them and left them there. Yeah, so that really excited me because I just literally just read this, and it showed Taka and Razar, and I was like, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. And I still got to read The Last Ronin, but, you know, it's been out for a while, and it was already spoiled to me on Facebook. Someone that shall remain nameless. But they told me who the turtle was. And I'm pleasantly surprised. It's a good choice. It's a good choice. I thought it was somebody else because of the cartoon from the 2020 to 2012 series that was really good. And they had like a little spin-off series about the future, and it was Raphael. A lot of people thought it was Leo because, you know, Leo's, you know, the best one, supposedly. You know, but it was I'm still going to read it. Just haven't read it yet. So that's Time Bubbles. Right? That's Ninja Turtles. Right? What is this right here? Oh, so I've been watching, you know, I watch podcasts. Most people do now, especially in our age range. And some people who are maybe my age and a little bit older, they remember Pauly Shore, who was like a real, like LA surfer type dude who was on MTV and shit, had movies in the 90s and stuff. But he has a podcast now, right? And he was talking about, he has this podcast called Pauly Shore Rants, something like that, right? I don't watch every episode. Some episodes I watch, I happened to watch a live episode the other day. And one of the rants was like, he'll get a question, and the rant was like homelessness, all right? The question was homelessness, and he has like a few minutes, like a minute or like 30 seconds to answer the question. But he said that when you see it, and I thought this was interesting because it's true. And when you see a homeless person, you don't know if they fucked themselves over or you don't know if the system fucked them over. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And either way, you feel bad for them, you know? And then they're like, what do you do? They're talking about what do you do when you see a homeless person, right? Or like someone asking for money. Like if I have change, this is just honest. I'm not bragging or nothing. If I have change, uh, I'll give them some change. If it's not gonna disrupt traffic, if the light hasn't, if I still have time and shit, I'll give them some change. If I have a cup of fruit, cause where I work, sometimes we get free food like little snacks and shit, raisins and shit. And if I have something like that, I'll give it to them. A bottle of water or something. And I've only experienced appreciativeness from these people. So I haven't had the experience where some people have experiences with, I felt like my grandfather had an experience where he gave a homeless dude $1 and I'm like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? I need some more. And so like my grandpa was like a gangster. He was like, fuck you, motherfucker. And but me, I haven't had those kind of experiences, those negative experiences with homeless people. As of yet, hopefully I never will. And if I to show them that I don't have money, because I know like I don't believe every part of the Bible, but there's a lot of parts of the Bible I do believe. And there's this thing that stuck with me since a kid, and it was some line in the Bible that says to like not look away from homeless people, like give them eye contact, because you never know what they went through or some shit. And it might be an angel or something like that, right? So I'll go like that, and then I'll like pretend to look. If I know I don't have change or I might have change, I'm looking, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, and then or I'll just show that I literally have nothing. I'm just like, oh, like I'm fucking tired and shit. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, like I'm struggling too. You know what I'm saying? But it's tough. And he also mentioned that oftentimes there's more homeless in the blue states. And as a comedian, he also talked about social distancing, and he talked about how in states like Texas and Florida, which are red states, businesses are more opened up. Comedians are doing shows in those states. And the blue states, things are shut down. Like in LA, clubs are at 25% capacity now, so everybody's losing money. And so it seems like for business, the red states are the best. Now, numbers are high for COVID because it's the season changing. People are getting the flu, people are getting regular sickness. And somebody I was talking to, like, she goes to this church, is actually pretty, like, woke is such an overused word, but it's a church that's like pretty woke, like in the aspect of they talk about the 12 tribes of Israel. They don't fall for the mainstream media's push of hating one side and all that shit. And then they also talk about how last year at the same time the numbers were the same, and then how the mask, there's only so much that the mask do, and then it's just interesting. My mom knows people who have family-owned businesses that if there's more shutdowns, they're gonna be hurt more by shutdowns than they will be by COVID, which is interesting. But I'm not here to say, it is what it is. It's not black and white. Everything is shades of gray. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people who agree with certain conservative aspects, and there's a lot of people who agree with liberal aspects. And there's a lot of people in the middle. And that's what most of the people, I think, are pretty much in the middle, because we want stuff made in America, but we want gay people to be able to get married if they want to. We want the world to respect us. We don't want to be bought by China or controlled by China. But yeah, we also want, let's legalize THC, not just CBD. Let's free the nip. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and what's interesting is in 2008, there was a candidate named Ron Paul who was running as a Republican, but now he's a libertarian. And a lot of the stuff he was saying, he was like a conservative Bernie Sanders. And it was really interesting to hear some of the things that he said about 9/11 and the reason why we were attacked and this and that. And back then, Giuliani was like, what? You're saying that we were attacked because we were over there? That's bullshit. But Ron Paul was like, if you look at what we've been doing for the while, like, usually conservatives are like anti-war and shit. But after 9/11, George Bush kind of flipped that shit. And it was used for nefarious purposes, obviously, we know now. Some people don't think so, and that's fine. You know, if you believe the official narrative, that's cool. I still love you. You know, like the as a human, we all love each other whether we agree or disagree, and that's the whole point of being human. That's the human experience, to love each other even though we're different. Because isn't it better to have friends of different idealisms and to have different opinions and shit? Because if we're all the same, how boring is that? How boring is that? So let me see. What should I put? Bro, I'm going to put on the track. That is not my own. Writing notes. So I told my mom the other day, because we were listening to a Joe Rogan podcast with this guy named something Iglesias. And he was talking about how if the United States had more population, we'd have a better chance of fighting off China from messing with our finances. And a lot of people think that we are overpopulated, but really what the situation is overcrowding. Because if you go to LA, yes, there's too many people there. If you go across the country, there's a lot of rural area with a lot of land that people could spread out, but people don't want to spread out. And then I told her, I forgot why I said, but we were talking about how she showed me this PragerU video of this wrestler, this Hispanic wrestler, American-Mexican wrestler. That's how he preferred to refer to himself, who his parents were on drugs and shit, and he ended up working for 45, and in a lot of ways, there's a lot of nefarious forces behind supposed liberal movements. Let me say that again. There's nefarious forces behind many supposed liberal movements. Small businesses in blue states are struggling, if not already belly up. And prayers go out to those people. I understand this is a serious virus, but having all these businesses shut down that are leading to suicides and all this other shit is not more. There's got to be other solutions, right? We could do other ways. Like we've been wearing masks. We've been staying 6 feet apart as much as possible. It's very difficult, especially schools and shit. All right. So on another tip, I didn't used to get in trouble in school, right? In elementary school. So it was traumatizing to me when I would get in trouble at school. T for trauma. I'm not traumatized, but I just remember. So like one time in kindergarten, because I don't remember in pre-K getting in trouble. In kindergarten, one time we were waiting for our teacher on the blacktop. And there was no teacher assistants. There's nobody out there. We were just waiting in the line, because that's how good we were as kids back then. Like nowadays, if you leave some kids out there by themselves on the blacktop, they're not going to stay in the line. Most won't. Some will. We did, but we were out there so long, I don't know what the teacher was doing. She probably had like a conference or something. And I don't know why they didn't send nobody to walk. Like I don't know the sense, but we were just chilling there, right? Because it's kindergarten. Some kids start playing Duck Duck Goose, right? Duck Duck Go. I get chosen. I have to get up. As soon as I start running, the teacher catches me, and I get in trouble for playing Duck Duck Go because she was late to pick us up. Man, and I remember that I was pretty sad about that as a kindergartner. It's crazy. I didn't get no fucking marshmallow and shit. It's all good, man. So that's funny. Now I don't remember first and second grade that much, but my mom said I was reading like in the beginning of first grade already, and that teacher, her name was Miss Gross, which is pretty interesting. Miss Gross. Let's see what else I got. Yo, I do this a lot. When I don't know what's like, I start writing the alphabet and shit in cursive. They say it's good for stress. Doing little doodles. Look at that little weird, like a germ dude or something. That's random. I had some other topics. Let me see. I'm pretty excited. I have a couple weeks until vacation. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had more bread for the holidays, but oh well. So I said this one time on book. Sometimes I feel like not reading for a couple of days, but then God or the universe could show me exactly what I needed to know when I needed to know. From the book, I was a quarter of a way done and put it down for a week. When I picked it back up, it was perfect time. Also, when you just pick up a random book sometimes and just pick it to a random page, it'll be exactly what you needed to see at the time. Like I was at Vino's house and Romo and Vino were playing chess, and I was looking through. Vino has a substantial collection of incredible books, ranging from the metaphysical to like Tolkien. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of everything. But one of the books was about the stars, and it was about the age of Aquarius, and it was talking about what Aquarius meant, and that Aquarius actually meant like Christ spreading Christianity. Yo, and I'm an Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius, which started in the year 2000. So I just had this connection with God and the universe and Jesus and stuff, and it felt really special. Yeah. Oh, and then the other day, it was a Friday, I saw there was a duck that flew over my head, and I looked that up, and it meant that stress was going to go away and stuff. And that might just be coincidence, you know, but I like, that was on Wikipedia too, like instead of Wikipedia. I think there's, you know, like a lot of people think that anything that goes away from the Bible is evil, but there's some evil stuff in the Bible. Now, I take the New Testament more seriously than I do a lot of the Old. Yeah. Girl, I drew like my little clean energy drink in a blunt. It's green. It's just random shit. I drew myself, and then I wrote this left-handed. Let's see. Left side handed. Practice so maybe I can be ambidextrous, but really my right wrist hurts. This has occurred because I've been playing hours of Pokemon trading card game online. This has happened prior when I participated in Inktober. Now my left hand hurts. No, now my left wrist hurts. Ha ha ha. Forgot about that. Let's see. What is that? Animals equals feeling. Lazy sloth. Oh, I don't know what that is. This is random. But yeah, I've been learning. I'm kind of bilingual, but I've been trying to learn stuff too. Cuidando, citizen, cuidando ningún error de intimidación. Man, I'm kind of blazed. Hey, if y'all play chess, go to that app, chess.com, man. Find me at Chess Tanuki. The survivor adapts. I don't know why I wrote that. Look at that cute ass fucking cloud. Isn't that cute? And I don't know. Oh, it's a cloud with rain. Looks like an octopus. Shout out to my mom, man. This is a beautiful scenery background. That's hers right here, that old school style. I just barely put this and this here, but the tree is her. You know what I'm saying? It's all her. I decided to do a little, my grandpa's sister, so my great aunt, she's in the hospital with lung cancer. So my mom's out of town to go. She took my grandpa and grandma to go see her. So I'm sending prayers that way. Hopefully I can send some positive vibes and prayers too. But that's why I'm kind of taking advantage of the, it's not like being rude, and at least I have time to air it out and stuff from the CBD smoke. I know I had something else in here. I don't know if I talked about the time that I got bit by a mentally challenged kid. I think I did. And what's interesting now, I kind of work with, like, full circle when I was in middle school. When I was in middle school, I was walking down the highway with my friends, two of my best friends, I think. And we were walking down the hallway past, this was at Sam Houston. We were walking past shout out to Sam Houston. A lot of people don't know what Sam Houston is. If you do, that school right there was an interesting school in our hometown of Garland, which is like a suburb of Dallas. And Sam Houston always was known as having the worst football team, having bad kids and shit. We moved to Garland because the neighborhood was nicer, without realizing that the schools were worse. That school in particular. Which I've stayed in honors, but it's you have this honors group, these smart kids that are surrounded by these gangsters and these drug users and these sexually active middle schoolers. And it's just damn, I wasn't ready for that shit. Even though I went through trauma at home, my parents fought, and I saw some shit at home. I wasn't used to being around kids like that. There was one kid in elementary school that tried to fight me one time, and I had no idea why. It was this chubby, light-skinned black dude kid. And one time he just said, and I wonder if because he just said, he's like, man, I'm gonna fight you. And I was like, what? What? What did I do to you? And then after school, he was pushing me and shit. And I never fought before, and I didn't know what to do. So I just kept walking away from him. He just pushed me. So I was just okay, I guess you're giving me a little boost. You know what I'm saying? Push. And I'm just okay, all right, let's see you later. And this teacher somebody saw, and she's like, hey, this kid's bullying this kid and pushing him. And he got in trouble and shit, and then he never fucked with me again. But what I don't understand, so what I thought is maybe one time his dad or somebody said, hey, or his cousin or somebody said, when you go to school, find the coolest kid. Because I wasn't the biggest kid. Or maybe they find somebody and beat them up. Because me and the boys were watching Blacklist. And we're on season 2 of Blacklist. And there's an episode, one of the characters, he's becoming has a new alternate, he's on a mission and he has to infiltrate some Nazis, but he goes into this bar and he obviously has to go fight the biggest dude to get initiated. So this cat, I guess he was trying to because a lot of people like me or something. I don't know. In middle school, I fought this freckled kid, this ginger. was older than me but shorter than me, over a girl that was actually my first kiss. And I didn't lose, but I mean I lost, but I didn't like fall or anything. When I think of it, the only people I fought in my life are white people. I don't have a problem with white people. It just happen to be the people I fought have been white people. I haven't never fought a black dude or. I fought a Mexican dude, but it was like we were just boxing. We were just playing around. But they weren't like fights, like didn't fight with somebody and shit. It's interesting. You never been in a fight, never been punched in the face. Think about it. It's not the best feeling in the world. A lot of people don't think that they get punched in the face. They can just talk shit online.